Hi Luke, this is David, guitar friend. I have a similar guitar as yours, and we're going to talk about playing a little bit of guitar. The first thing you do is you have to make sure your guitar is in tune. So we have this electronic tuner, and so we'll go from the top string all the way down to the high string. We'll make sure our guitar is in tune. So here's the E, which is the top string. See, the tuner knows it's the E string, and it tells me it's in tune because the blue triangle at the top is lit. If it's too sharp, it goes red. It goes past the blue shape. So now we got to tune it back to where it's just perfectly in tune. There you go. Now let's do the next string down, which is called the A string. You see? It's right there, right on the blue shape. Let's do the next string down, which is the G string. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the D string. What am I talking about? Okay, it's seems a little flat. So let's, oh, there it goes. It's exactly the D. Now we go to the G string. That one is pretty darn good. Okay, now we go to the B string, which is the fifth one down. Yep, in tune. Now we go to the last string, the sixth string, which is also an E, and it looks like it just wants to maybe a little bit more. There we go. So that blue shape lit up, that means it's in tune. So the high string is an E, also the bottom string is an E, you see? They're an octave apart. Okay, so there's that. So what I've done is I've chosen 3 chords to teach you. Chords are basically just notes put together, and they make what's called a chord, and they're usually a very beautiful sound. Some chords are kind of weird, you know. They make sort of what would you say? It sounds like a jazzy chord, or it sounds, but that's a very basic major chord. That's a D chord. So I put these pieces of tape on here to show you where your fingers go when you play these different chords. There's 3 of them. The yellow tape indicates where your fingers go for a D shape or a D chord. And I also have this other thing I'm going to do, because when you play a D chord, you do not play the top 2 strings. So I will put red tape on the top 2 strings. Boom. That's so you know you don't play those. All you do is you go the 4th string, that's the D, just those 4 strings, and make sure your fingers are on that string in the 2nd fret, that string on the 2nd fret, and that string on the 3rd fret. These are all called frets. These metal pieces are all called frets. This whole thing is called the fretboard. So your fingers, where you put your fingers on the frets determines the sound you will get. And for a D chord, your fingers belong right where those yellow shapes are, okay? So that's a D chord. Now you're gonna have to practice. You're gonna have to get to where you're good at just putting your fingers down and boom, you've got the chord, right? Because at first you're gonna like, does it go here? Does it go there? Where is it? Oh. But you practice and you'll eventually get it. Now other people play, you know, some people play a D chord like this. I cheat a little bit. I use only 2 fingers, because this finger goes across all of those strings, and then this finger's in front of that finger, so what it does is independent of the back. So that's how I do it. But other people do it like this. That's perfectly fine. The whole point is to get that string, and that string to all stay down at the same time, and only play the 4 strings. Don't play the top 2 strings. Okay, that's a D chord. Now the next chord is an A. Now do you see where the blue pieces of tape are? That's where your fingers need to be. And we don't play the top string on an A chord, right? So we go finger, finger, finger. Ah, that sounds nice. So now we're playing the 5th string. That's the A. So it takes, again, it takes practice. Here it is. No strings held down, but here it is with the strings held down. See how it sounds really nice. And trying to get your fingers to fit in there and to make sure that this string sounds right and that string sounds right, and all of these. It looks easy, but it takes practice. So, and again, because I've been doing this for a while, I have a way of doing it that is probably unconventional, but my one finger fits exactly here. So when I play an A, I play it like that. So that's just my way. I mean, while you're learning, maybe you want to do all the 3 fingers at once, Anyway, I'm showing you that because that's a little shortcut you might come up with when you've been practicing for a while. All right, so now we're going to go to a G chord. Now do you see the green tape? There's one here, there's one here, and there's one down here, right? So this finger goes here, this finger goes here, and that finger goes there. And you get to play all the strings. There's no restrictions. There's no red tape. So yeah, and just have to make sure that your fingers are on each string, and the finger isn't touching the other string. That it's just holding its one string down. Right? You see that? So let's just review. Let's review. That was a G chord. And now we're putting up the 2 red don't play tapes. And that must mean we're going to do a D chord. This one. So here's the way a lot of people play it, using all 3 fingers on those yellow pieces of tape. 2 fingers on the 2nd fret, 1 finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. And here's the way I do it when I sort of use my method. Okay, so that's your D chord. Now we're going to take one of these restrictions off, and we don't play the top, so we must be over here at the A, right where the blue tape is, and your fingers go right on those 3 strings, right on that, all on the same fret. That's the 2nd fret. Those 3 strings, right where the blue shapes are. And we don't play the bottom string, the E string. Just those 5. All right, that's the A. Now we're going to go to the G, where we get to play all the strings. And we go where the green tape is, and 1 finger there, 1 finger there, 1 finger down there on that string. Ta-da! That's a G chord. And the reason I showed you these chords is because a D, A chord, and a G chord, they sound good together. Right? And certain chords are like that. And I'll show you others that go together nicely, but I thought, since there's I don't know, there must be seven major chords to learn the way we're learning this. I would just show you a few at a time, the ones that sound good together, and maybe next time I'll show you another few chords that sound good together, or maybe just another chord that sounds good with the ones that we just learned. But so it's so simple. It can be so easy to make music with the guitar. And I don't know if you like to sing or not, but you could sing with your guitar. And like here's an example of a song that uses just these three chords, and just a simple. It's a very old song. But it can be very beautiful if you sing and play guitar at the same time. So let's just try it. I wandered again to my home in the mountains, where the youth's early dawn I was happy and free. There's the A. Go back to the D. I looked for my friends. Go to the G, but I never could find them. I found they were all rank strangers to me. Everybody I met seemed to be a rank stranger. No mother or dad, not a friend could I see. They knew not my name, and I knew not their faces. I found they were all rank strangers to me. See, isn't that fun? You know these three chords and you can sing that song. There's more verses to the song, so I mean, and there's more songs that go with those three chords that are in the world, and you could find them and you could play them. But just to review, let's review this. We'll come to a finish here, and then if you think this is good and helpful for you, then maybe I can send you some more of these videos. But anyway, we got the two do not play pieces of tape. That means we're going to play a D. Now remember, you're probably going to want to do it with all the fingers, just because you're just learning, and everybody starts at the beginning, and that might be the easiest way to do it. So you just play the four strings, just these. Don't play the top two. And that's your D major chord. Now if we take one of the restrictions off here. So now we're going to focus on the blue, 1, 2, 3, holding those down, and we'll use all of the three fingers, and we get to play this A string, right? So that's those three fingers on those three strings, right where the blue shapes are. Bing, bing, bing. 1, 2, 3. That's the A chord. Now we are going to take off all the restrictions. We get to play all the strings, and we put our fingers here, 2nd fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret, top string, and then the bottom string. This little guy down here where the green shape is, on the 3rd fret. The G, the mighty, mighty G. So just to review, D, A, G, see, they all sound good together. One just leads to the next one. It's all very... See, I know I'm playing kind of fast, but I've been playing a long time, trust me. But I'm excited, Luke, that you're learning how to play guitar, and I hope that these little instructions can maybe help you get started and enjoy the time you spend learning to play guitar. Okay, that's going to be all for now. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this. Bye-bye.